I know you said you probably wouldn't have an idea about Aiden until Thursday, but do you have anything new on him?
Right now he's going to be week to week, so he will not travel. And we'll go from there. Lindbaum was called up. He practiced today, so he'll be. I anticipate he'll start one of the games this weekend with the back-to-back setup. So I don't know which one yet, but we'll go through that. So.
Excitement level of getting Carl into one of those games?
Well, listen, we think he's a legitimate prospect. He had a really good second half in Henderson. Is he ready for this? He was good in exhibition. We'll see, right? That's the hand we're dealt, and hopefully he's up for the challenge. I know he's a great kid. He works hard. He's going to do everything to prepare himself. We'll find out if how it goes. But I've said this many times. We're not going to judge his on one game, right? Like, if Philly ends up being an extended period of time, he'll probably get a few starts along the way there, and that'd probably be a better assessment of where he's at. You never know with young goaltenders what's the right path, how soon. But this, as I said, he's a guy that deserves to be up. And with Hilly out and our schedule the way it's going to be, he's going to get at least one, probably a few starts. So see how it goes.
Hi, Coach.
Hi there.
How pleased have you been seeing this next man up mentality come to light?
Well, it's great when that happens. It shows you got good depth. Other guys are ready to accept the extra responsibility. I think that's a good thing to have in the room. I've always said the best teams have internal competition. This is a bit of a form of that with guys being out. They get to prove that, hey, if I'm given the responsibility, I can take care of business, so that whenever one is healthy, you get a good push from each other. I think that's very healthy for the group. We've done that a lot here, so that's a good sign that the guys can respond. The guys that are going in, but also the guys that are in, know that, hey, maybe, I got to do a little bit more while certain guys are out to make sure we keep kind of the ship afloat and going in the right direction. So there's a little bit of that mentality in the room as well. I think it's both sides of it.
Talked about Carl, but on Akira's front, is there any adjustment that you have to make, or how do you approach him now being the guy for week to week?
Well, he's going to play more. That's the adjustment he has to get used to and be leaned on a little more. And probably an example of what I just said, right? He's a guy that is in a more of a support role now. He knows that he's going to be in there a little more often. And if you ask him, I'm sure he'd say that's what he wants. Probably, he should be the answer. Hey, I want to be a number one in this league, so I'm going to get treated like one as long as Hilly's out, type of thing. And where Carl's looking at, okay, I'm the support guy, but hey, I got a chance to be in the net too if I play well. So they're pushing each other. We won't change the message to Akira. Maybe Berkey has to look at how he approaches his workload if he's playing more, adjust the days in between, et cetera. But that'll be up to Sean and the goalies to handle that part of it. He's played well for us, so I don't think it's going to change our mindset in terms of how we're going to play. And I don't think the guys will change the way they play. They'll trust that he'll give us a solid outings, and he has.
Bruce, you went through this a couple of years ago being the defending champs. Florida now with 2 in a row. What's that challenge like that next year when you take on a team that's, you lived it a couple of years back after winning it?
Yeah, well, they've done it. They know they can do it, right? We didn't repeat. They did. So they have, that's the one thing they're thinking right now. Hey, we've been through this and come out as the best team in the end. So the challenge is getting up for a game every night in October, November, after you've been through those Aprils and Mays and June. Their challenge is increased this year because they've lost some key guys to injuries. But like us, they're hoping to plug a guy in, give him more opportunity. Because when you're a Stanley Cup team, you probably have guys in your line that feel they can do more, right? But they're behind good players. That's usually how you win. You got a lot of good players. So for them, I think that's the positive for their situation. But you're also getting the opposition's best most every night. That's probably the biggest thing when you're the defending champs. You become a measuring stick. You don't get a lot of easy nights. So that's going to be their challenge every night, to be at their best. And they're going through it now. And it's early, but I think, as I said earlier, they know the drill. I think they'll be just fine in the long run.
I know they've got some key people out, and you do too, but are you still curious to see how you guys stack up? You guys are off to a real good start. They won back-to-back cups.
Yeah, you're always looking at certain. Carolina's a good team. You know the way they play. So it was good game for us to see where we're at, and I thought we responded well. We started well. I was real concerned, and that was a big message, like, this team jumps on you. And then all of a sudden the game's halfway over, and you're like, oh, yeah, they're pressing us. We don't have a lot of time and space, and you're down 2 goals. Well, it's a tough animal with them. So I like that we were ready to go. All right, we might not have won the first 5 minutes, but we were in it and going, and got the lead and played well with the lead. So I'm sure we'll see that out of Florida, Tampa, Carolina again, Colorado. So we've got 4 games against teams that, going into the season were picked as, certainly Stanley Cup contenders, if not favorites. So I think our guys they're smart guys. They know what they're going to see this week and what the challenges will be, and it'll be a good test for us.
Bruce, you call up Jacob Magna. The same day he's announced as the Silver Knights captain, he gets the call up to come up here. So just what do you, as he joins your group, just what do you want to get out of him and just as he joins you guys?
Well, right now he's our 7th guy. The challenge for us was we're going on the road, and if you look at Henderson, they've had a number of D playing well. So good on Megs to get the call. Certainly deserved it. I know Coughlin's played well. Cormier's rebounded from an injury, doing some good things. So, let's see if, in fact, we need him, right? You hope you don't, but if we do, then, where does he best fit, et cetera, and we'll answer those questions as we go. The good thing about him is he's played both sides, left and right. So when you go on a road trip without knowing, like, if he's going to play, that means a D got hurt. But I don't know which one's getting hurt, right? This isn't like we know already and we can plug him in. So that's the challenge for us when you're thinking of bringing a guy on the road. And we thought it through. We always consult with Kreger down there and Tim Speltz, and this was a recommendation. We thought it'd be a good fit for us going down there. He's played there before too, so it's a nice reward for him too.
Do you expect Hannafin to travel?
I don't. Howie is definitely, I would believe Howie will play on Saturday. He's responding well the last 2 days, so let's make sure when we get there he's good. But he's probably the only one of the other 3 that will be traveling.
In terms of, you kind of mentioned with Mark with the Olympics and it being an Olympic year, I'm curious, and I know it's way down the road, but are you relaying feedback to everybody over for Team Canada as far as if Mark comes back or if it's cutting close to the roster deadline? Do you have any say in that?
There'll be meetings. We actually had one yesterday with the coaches, but it was more about wasn't about player driven. It was our tidying up our kind of tech package that we got to get out to the players eventually and our kind of timelines for stuff. So, and the GMs are doing the same. I don't know what the date is. There was an article the other day, I think, about their timeline. I think they're getting together and maybe around early November, late October, and going to probably start sorting through their. So I may get a call then, like, how's Mark doing? They may do that specific to our players, you know what I mean, and try to get, like Hilly, I'm sure I'll hear from the goalie coach, like what's going, So those things do happen, but no, we don't, there's not a lot that we do. There's I think 5 GMs on that committee that pick the team, and they'll go through it, and if they need specific information or more detail, then we'll get a phone call. And because Mark was on it and Hilly were on it last time, then I assume at some point there will be that question, whether it goes through Krim or myself, but that'll probably come up.
World Series starts on Friday.
It does.
We've got some baseball.
Toronto Blue Jays, Canadian. Yeah.
Where are you leaning? What are you thinking?
Well, I got to go with the Jays, being a Canadian. Not that I don't know if they have a Canadian on their team, to be honest, but they're a Canadian city that supports their team, and why not, right? It'd be good for the country. And that's nothing to do with the Dodgers. I don't dislike the Dodgers. I'm a big Mookie Betts fan. He was a Red Sox. Cole loved him. He was a great guy in Boston. In the community, always seemed to have a smile on his face, doing something positive for them. So, but yeah, that's right. Hopefully it's a good series, right? I guess that's what I'm hoping more than anything.
Last night was an emotional night in Boston as Brad Marchand made his return there. I didn't know if you had a chance to see any of that or just.
I saw him bawling his eyes out there on TV. I thought it was great. He's such a smack talker. He's going to hear about that on Saturday. But yes, I imagine it was very emotional for him. It should be. He was there a long time. Had a family there. It'd be a tough one for him. I can't speak to him, but I don't imagine he wanted to leave there. He landed in a great spot, so it worked out. But yeah, a big piece of him is still in Boston. I was there when he was a young guy in Providence. I coached him there for a long time. A great person. He's become almost. I was talking this morning with Gary and Gauche about it. Like he's in the Hall of Fame conversation now, from a guy that was a fourth line player that started in the minors. I mean, that's quite a growth, and most of that happened. Well, pretty much all of it happened in New England. So I imagine it hit home real hard for him. Like I said, he's one of the best chirpers, so I brought that up for that. But I felt good for him. Got a great, because there's always that when you go back, like, oh, how the fans going to react. But I knew they'd give him a great ovation because he deserves it. Did a lot for that franchise.